And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
It feels like it's been such a long time, yeah?
Yeah,
It's been a
it feels like
minute.
well, because you were in Los Angeles with your co-host, frolicking the rainbow streets.
Yes. Yes.
LA will never be the same.
No,
Never.
yes, you're right. We hope we know the same. Let me tell you, Ellen made sure she told everybody, this is my co-host of the Moms for Trans. Because like we had somebody bought a T-shirt. I mean, it was crazy. We were just marketing our podcast. It was crazy. But welcome to Moms for Trans Kids podcast. Today we have not one but two guests, and let me tell you, it's going to be amazing. But before we get to our guests, hi Kim, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
It feels like it's been a month. And of course, hi, Ellen. Ellen and I met for the first time last week and we're like, oh, I already know you. As a matter of fact, Ellen and I, we met and I did like a little video of how we kind of met and we're like, no, let's shoot another one.
Oh my gosh, I forgot we did that.
I forgot we did that. We had to like do it over. We had to do.
Must have been a good night.
Yeah, because we felt like we had already met each other. And so it was, I was like, well, should we like be more excited? So I said, okay, let's do it again. So we had to fake meet each other for the first time. It was only funny for these people who were there, but anyway. But thank you so much, Ellen, for your hospitality. Thank you for being there for me, for taking me around LA. I had a good time. Today we have our adopted, for those of you who've been watching us for a minute, there's our guest today has actually been on the show. I think maybe this is the third time. One of our guests has been here maybe 3 times now. Or was it on LinkedIn? Is that where you were, Sam? Was it LinkedIn and then here, or was it here? Did you do the transgender day of visibility?
I was a part of Trans Joy experience, like I believe in the beginning of the year. But this is my first appearance on your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. All right. So for those of you who do not know, Kim and I kind of just adopted.
We just scooped them up at that.
Yeah, we didn't ask. We just like, that's it. Kim more than me. Kim was like, I want you. I was like, okay, well, I think he needs a black mom too. So I'm gonna just come and slide in here. So his name is Samuel. Samuel is a favorite of mine on social media. Sam, thank you so much for coming. And I got to meet Sam and Vanessa, and I call them Sam and Van because why not? I met Sam and Van in May, or was it June?
August. In
August.
Yep, Atlanta. I was doing
Atlanta.
That year.
And it was so beautiful. Yes. So we are going to be talking about this. We want to burst this myth that is out there that trans people do not have trans joy. They do not experience trans joy. That being trans is painful, is devilish, and they just all the things. So to join me in this conversation today is definitely going to be Ellen and Kim, to just kind of be Mama Beasts, to ask questions with love, of course, and respect, but also to just kind of help us so that we can understand. Those of us that cannot ask our children, you can hear from someone who is empowered enough to talk about this stuff. So that's why I'm here today. What about you, Kim?
Well, I can tell you that, having trans kids for me today, this Sunday, I thought about it and it affected me in ways like I got up for breakfast and my kids, well, they eat the same thing as everybody else. And then we went about our day and then, we were watching TV, some movies, and they watched the same things as everybody else. We had dinner and they eat the same thing as we do.
So you mean your kids are you mean your trans kids are like normal? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying the amount of times I think about their pronouns in a day, this is stupid to even be having this discussion. Yeah. I mean, guys, the society is why we're having this discussion. Yeah. It's not because, I can't get their pronouns right. It's society. They live day to day. And I'm here to tell you, we have great times and we have great, wonderful memories. I've got the pictures and the receipts to prove it.
Yeah. What about you, Ellen, why are you here today talking to? I mean, your post on social media just kind of lit me up, and I was like, "Oh my God, I love the video, I love the promo, I love everything." Why are you here to talk to this couple? Because this is our first time ever having a trans man and their partner, showing us that it happens. That it's not a rarity. They're not unicorns by any means. They have toothache. They brush their teeth. I mean, all the things. Why are you here today, Ellen, to interact with this couple?
Well, I'm going to say they are unicorns because we all are.
Okay.
But, having a trans son, this is about normalizing relationships, right? It's about making sure that people have this understanding that this relationship is not any different from any other relationship, from any heterosexual, cisgender relationship, from any queer relationship, bisexual, pansexual, what have you. It is about understanding and listening to how two people love each other. So for me, it is, I just relish in just having so much joy for having our guests that can share their experience, their journey, but also give us as parents with trans children, give us some hope, knowing that our children will be loved the way that we have we have set up for them to be loved, right? This is not about settling. And that's the one thing that I have heard. I have heard that with a number of trans people, whether it be male or female, that they feel like because they are trans, they have to, the market, if you will, is not as available. They have to find themselves settling kind of like in this mind space of, it's better to have someone than not anyone at all. And, and I'm gonna tell you, I guess I would just be single because I'm not doing dysfunction. So, if you can't love all of me, then you just can't love me, period.
Period.
So it's good to really have our guests here today and to talk about just their journey in love and just to kind of find out, what that looks like. And I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be. So, talking about the guests as if they're not even here. All right. Okay, Van and Sam and Van. Thank you all so much for coming. You've seen how riled up we are. That we're really riled up, rather, we are about just having you here today to talk about loving as trans people. So, Vanessa, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you, and why did you say yes when Sam said we're going? Well, actually, I said yes, but why did you say yes, Nessa?
You said, why did I say yes?
Why did you say yes to come on the show?
Oh, I think it's really important. I think that there's not enough discussion. We say this all the time that, eventually it'd be nice to even have support groups for spouses, because I haven't met other spouses yet. And, we live in a really small town. And so even if we want to be around our community, we have to drive 2 hours. And being in school right now, finishing up my last program, I don't have a whole lot of time to be doing all of that. And so I said, we're going to have to figure out a way to get the word out more, because we're here. And, we need to make sure that other people know that this is just as normal as any other relationship.
Oh, that is powerful. I love that. It's just as normal as any other. We have the same things. That's what Kim was trying to say.
Yeah.
We eat the same food that people eat. It's like the same. There's no trans diet or trans kind of love. So beautiful. What about you, Sam? Sam is the man of the hour, minute, second. I mean, whenever I first met you, I can't even remember how we met, but we just kind of just fell in step with each other, and just you helped me proofread my book. In fact, I don't want to say, I don't want to get emotional. But Sam, why was it important for you to come and talk about Sam as the husband, Sam as the father to be, or whatever it is that your role is in the marriage? And what was it important specifically to talk about that aspect of your transness?
Well, like my wife and I always talk about, I don't pay trans bills. I don't drive a trans car. I don't have a trans job.
Come on. You better say it, Sam.
Dreams, and I have aspirations just like everyone else out there. And why I showed up today was to be that example for my other trans siblings, to know what it looks like to thrive, to know what it looks like to be happy, to know what it looks like to be peaceful, and to let them know that you can actually heal from all of your traumas and all of your wounds, and you can create the life that you want to create, which is what my wife and I have chosen to do. No, it hasn't been easy. We have been met with adversity and challenges, but without those adversity and challenges, I wouldn't know that there were other options.
Ooh.
So that's why I'm here.
I love it. And I love how you were very specific that, you know, as much as we are put in, and I'm going to say just the umbrella of the queer community, as much as we are put in this different box, or people try to put us in other spaces, they don't put us in other spaces when it comes to these bills.
No, right.
I know that. No, that got me. That just
I didn't have to pay
all my
those
edges.
bills.
Yeah, I don't pay trans. I'm about to quote you. I don't pay trans bills. I don't drive a trans car. You know, I don't have trans problems as far as, you know, with whatever else. I have human problems. I love that. But also I also have human solutions, right? And I think my mother says that, you know, don't say I don't want problems. Say I want problem, but I want to also have the wisdom to solve them, because that to me is where the problems come. So, wow, y'all, the floor is yours, Kimmy, Ellen, take it away.
And to further that comment, you know, that is one of the big misconceptions about the Equality Act with marriage, right? Between two people who love each other. And I'm speaking from a space of when I had to dissolve, if you will, the marriage to my first wife in California. I found it to be very interesting that there was this push, this political agenda for there to not be equality in marriage. However, when I was a domestic partnership with my wife, they treated me as if I was in a heterosexual marriage. So I had to go through the same process, the same procedures. I had to go through court. I had to go through splitting my assets, splitting all of the things that we had combined together as if I was in a heterosexual relationship. And a lot of people don't know that. They think, oh, we get some type of special treatment. And I'm like, we don't. So if you want us to not be married, then don't make us fall to the guidelines as if we are married like you are. You know, so treat me different. Let me sign a piece of paper and move on.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for them, Kim?
You know, I just want to start at the beginning, because I just remember, I mean, because Sam is around the age of my oldest son, and you know, and that's kind of how we connected, is that age range, and my son came out to me 10 years ago, but you know, as testing the waters, they came out or invited me in, so to speak, to let me know that they might be bi or they might be gay. Where the confusion and where my world got rocked was when they came to me and said, yeah, I'm a boy, or I'm transgender is what they call it, Mom. You know, this is what this is. And then I said, are you still gay? Are you a gay trans? Are you a trans gay? You know, what is, you know, your mind gets blown and you don't realize right away that you separate the who I am to who I'm attracted to.
Right.
I mean, it's just a totally different topic, and parents scramble those topics all the time. So it's always great to see different versions for me of, you know, older couples like my son's age, you know, that are married, successful, happy, healthy, to see that that's possible. I just love that this is a great example for me personally. So Vanessa and Sam, again, I'm just so happy that you're here as an example of trans joy and an example of, you know, where my sons are headed towards.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my oldest is in a relationship. It looks very different than what yours looks like, but they're happy and they're joyful and they're, you know, loving towards each other. I couldn't be more proud and more happy. And that wouldn't even be any different if they were straight. I couldn't be more proud. Couldn't be more happy. They love each other.
I want to take a moment and engage our guests. I want to talk about the moment, either
Mhm.
Vanessa or Sam, the moment when when Sam said, I would like to transition, not even that I am trans. What was going on in your mind? Or the moment before you said that, Sam, what was going on in your mind?
Yeah, I have
Because
a follow-up question for that too, Dr.
okay,
Lulu. So we'll
super,
get to
super.
that.
So, whichever one of you want to take it, the moment before you said the words, I want to transition, not so much I'm trans, and then, or the moment after you heard the words, I want to transition, what was going on?
So this is my second marriage, actually. So in my first marriage, who I was with, it was a very toxic and volatile relationship. And I had shared with that person that I wanted to transition. And they said, well, if I wanted to be with a man, I would have gotten it.
Mhm.
And so from that moment, it was another experience where I had to suppress and put myself on the back burner. So when Vanessa and I, my wife and I, met in 2012, we met in college. We were both going to get our bachelor's degree of criminal justice. This was when we were just starting out as friends. It was nothing more. We were just literally getting to know each other. I had shared that information with her. And I told her, I said, I'm going to transition. I want to transition. And I said, if we happen to, move forward, I said, I'm not compromising on that.
Mm. Good for you.
I remember that us having that conversation, and
Good for
I was,
you.
I was met with support.
Mhm. You
And
know what I found to your I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, because I want Vanessa to come in right there. This is why maybe y'all are gonna have to come back, because we've never had any couple. Like, this is so beautiful, because I was already scribbling feverishly what I want to ask later on. But yeah, but Sam, go ahead and finish, and then Vanessa, come in.
Just being met with support, I had never gotten that. And so that was confirmation to me, like, she's a keeper for one. And she was just so understanding and empathetic. She wasn't trying to like tell me what to do. She was more focused on my happiness. She said, I want you to be happy, even if we don't end up together.
And she cute, Sam. So just so you know.
And she
I'm
got
saying.
she got me with
Vanessa, she's a little cute, so
Did I not tell y'all? I said Vanessa is so like gorgeous. Vanessa, and Sam told me about your daily. We could go crazy with this, but Vanessa, okay. For the sake of all our ADHDs, let's just continue.
So, like Sam had said, we were friends for a while, and then we started having different kinds of conversations. Both of us, were in relationships at the time, but we're not happy. So we were those were coming to an end and dissolving. And so that's when we started having conversations about what would it look like if we started dating and things like that. But I think once we got to that point and we had a more serious conversation about transition, for me, I'm already in love with you. So it's about the person and the soul and who are you.
Yes.
I wasn't necessarily,
pansexual.
I did always identify growing up as a lesbian. I was always attracted to women. I never, I was like, no, I want to be with women. But then when this relationship started, I was like, okay, well, then that changes a little bit, because everyone always asked me, well, but wait a minute, you had a wife, but now you have a husband. I don't get it. What are you? And I was like, that's the thing you don't understand. I don't have a title and I don't need one. I am me, and this is who I love. And why does it matter? What business of it is yours?
Let me sip on my Gatorade.
So now we're here. I saw, the depression and the sadness prior to transition. And for me, it was either we do this together and you're going to go through this and we're going to do it, or we're going to have to talk about some serious mental health help, because I'm not going to watch you do this to yourself. And so it just got to a point where I said, okay, what's the first step? What do we do? And started making phone calls to doctors and looking up resources and figuring out what the next step was and what that was going to look like for him. Because I'll be damned if I stand by and watch you just, disintegrate because you're so upset, feeling like I can't be my authentic self because this and this and this person. I'm like, wait a minute. This is your life, right?
Mhm.
You're living your life. This isn't about this person and this person and this person. So I couldn't stand by and watch him be unhappy. There's no way I could ever live with myself to watch that. And at that point, like I said, this is my partner. This is my, I don't want to use the word soulmate because it's so cliche, but when you know, and
Use
so
it.
I just was like, we're doing it. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. It didn't change anything for me. Sam
So
was
what about the pronoun? The craziness about the pronouns. Oh my
No.
God, I can't learn the pronouns. How did you do that?
No, because Sam was previous to transition. Sam was a stud, identified as a stud, and so there was already masculine energy. And I'm not just talking about the physical appearance, but the energy was masculine. So that didn't really change a whole lot for me.
Yep.
And we got our first little puppy before transition, and anytime he'd walk in the door, I'm always, oh look, daddy's home. I was already using those pronouns and whatever it is that he wanted to use because that's what he felt comfortable with. So in the home, he was daddy to our little dog, and I was using he or whatever it is that he was comfortable with. And then when we were out in public, if we were around other people, then I was still using she at the time until he got to the point where he said, no, we're done. I'm going to transition.
I love this so much, Vanessa. Okay, Ellen, go ahead and ask your question. Vanessa, I have 10 things for you.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Is this only an hour show? Or
I know, yes.
Yeah,
I know, I know.
We need a whole
Yeah,
television.
we need y'all to come back.
Weekend.
We're gonna work because I'm working on some big things.
But I'm sure if Dr. Lulu has anything coming,
They're
that's
coming.
gonna happen.
They're coming. My TV show, it's almost
I already know.
It's happening.
No, I am so I just want to acknowledge how you have really put yourself in a position to accept Sam in all of his authenticity, right? And I think what happens is that I know just in my journey, and in my son's journey, I know that when you speak to what it is, that's it.
Mhm.
When you're not wavering, and Dr. Lulu and Kim has heard me say this a million times, right? You don't have to like it. You don't have to understand it.
Mhm.
You may have questions, and you can definitely ask and seek to understand and get a broader perspective and some learning and some education so that you can be a better self, and recognizing that we're all still human beings.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, then we don't have to mess with you.
Mhm.
And we're okay with that. And so for the fact that you have mentioned that, and if Sam being very transparent, I think that's just kind of where we come to in our journey when we want to move into a healthy existence. And I think that also too comes with age. My son is 22, so he's still kind of navigating those things. I'm 53. I'm not navigating nothing. You
Right.
either gonna be on board or you not.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at now because I feel like pre-transition, my old self helped me get to this new person. Without that old person, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Right.
And so when I transitioned, that was a complete transformation for me. It was about me closing old doors
Yes.
and not, telling myself I don't need permission anymore, like she said.
That's right.
Because up to that point, I was still seeking validation. I was still holding on to what my mom told me when I came out to her when I was 18. Like I still held on to that belief from 18 to the time I transitioned at 36. So I had to let all of that. I had to let all of that go.
Yeah. And it's a lot of self-work, and I commend you on doing the self-work. And it's work that happens continuously. I remember watching something with T.S. Madison, some type of interview that she had, and she said, I've been in this body for a long time, and I'm still learning me.
Yeah.
I'm still
Yeah.
learning who I am, and
Every day.
you know, and where I fall, and what I like, and how I identify. I'm still
Mhm.
learning me. So
Yeah.
this journey is never, it's never one that has one that has, you know, one fit to it, or one, you know, has to be one thing. And so I
Not in
just
one
commend you
way.
on being
Yeah.
very transparent, and I commend your wife also, Vanessa, for nurturing that.
So I
Um,
wanted to come in and mention. So Vanessa, I love that you mentioned what you mentioned because I'm going to connect you to Linda. One of the things I've been doing over the years is speaking to a lot of queer people. I think I've probably spoken to at least, safe to say, at least 50,000 queer people, I think, in just my conversations, doing all the things, speaking to people as a speaker, whatever. One couple I want you to meet is Linda and Holly. Ah, is the couple is Linda and Holly. Holly shared with Linda after 39 years of marriage that she's trans. And Linda said, I still love you.
mhm,
And they're married together. And I don't
mhm,
think they told one of their kids. That's how deeply homophobic where they are. But that's years ago, but still. So I want you, because I love what you said about finding community. But
mhm,
also, this is me, because I can, asking you, have you considered a podcast or something that will create that concept? Because you know what Toni Morrison said, if you can't find the book, write the fucking book.
Mhm.
You gotta create.
And then the third thing is you should write a book because of, or at least start coaching or something, because of what the way you said it was step by step. You actually said the step by step way, including at the end of the day what you said to do, what he told
Mhm.
him to do, and just start thinking about it. It may not be clear in your head yet. Anybody who knows me knows I love to talk about writing books because we should all write books. But I think the way, either a coaching program or a book or a podcast, something for you, Vanessa, because it was so beautiful. Do you know how many spouses are in that space? Like
Right.
yeah,
A lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
his ex spouse is in that space.
yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, that was just me. I wrote the things, I didn't want to forget them. That's that, and that. Okay. And then about the mental health that you mentioned, that
Yeah.
is so real. In him, I want to ask you, did his mental health indeed improve after detention? But we'll come back from the break and you can answer that question because you know this is a real TV show. So the show is called Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids podcast. We are Mama Beast and we truly don't give a fuck. We're here to support our trans kids. We're here to support other parents who want to support their trans kids. We're doing all the things. My name is Dr. Lulu. I'm usually joined every week by either Ellen or Kim or both, and usually we have a guest. You can find us on all the platforms where you can find podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, and the rest of them. And you can also watch us live stream on LinkedIn, on my YouTube channel, which is Moms for Trans Kid Podcast, and on Instagram. But not today. I don't know what's going on with Instagram because I lost my Facebook account recently. Facebook is still not allowing me to go live for X amount of months or whatever. So, but you will always hear us on Apple, on Spotify. The show is called Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids. We are at almost 50 or so episodes now. We're almost a year old, so we're almost at 50 something episodes, maybe. So even if you just hear this one, go back and listen to the others. Ask us questions. Our email is momsfortranskids@gmail.com. All right, welcome back from commercial. We are here. I've got Kim, I've got Ellen, I've got Sam, and I've got Van, and we are talking about relationships in the trans space. For me, I don't have any gender diversity for my own personal self, but I know that my relationships have been up and down. So I want to talk to y'all, to the two of you. Tell us, what has it been when you have the challenges? And what was Sam's mental health like transition? Because I do know Sam, you mentioned something about your job, which both of us kind of know about the place that you were working. I also want to know if you can talk about how did you navigate that? Because that's crazy what you told me about where you used to work before. I don't want to say the name. Okay. All right. So Vanessa and Sam, over to you.
So I saw 1,000% change in mental health after transition.
Loud that for those at the back. Loud it. Oh,
Yeah, there was no comparison to previous transition to after. There was literally like a glow coming from him and his face when we walked. He woke up from that first surgery. I walk in the room and he's up, chilling in the bed, wrapped up, eating a popsicle, like, okay, is it time to go home now? And I'm like, are you feeling all right?
That's fine.
But no pain, you know, at least not with that. But yeah, major, huge difference. He's very joyful and happy, and there's such a difference in even his daily attitude and his moods and the types of conversations and the continual personal development and growth that's still happening now, which I highly recommend for any person that's considering transition. It's just been amazing.
That played a huge piece. Going back to therapy really helped improve my mental health, my mood, just overall how I showed up. And then investing in myself and my personal development, I hired a life coach myself, worked with a life coach for about a year. So just doing that work, like I said, getting rid of like old belief systems that I held on to, forgiving my parents, forgiving my past, forgiving myself. That just opened me up to a different perspective. Like I wasn't so angry anymore. I wasn't, resentful anymore. So definitely doing the work, addressing why I was so angry. And like they say, looking in the mirror and taking accountability for like the parts that I played too.
yes.
That's also helped. And just being able to connect with people, because I feel like my transition also put me in a place, in a space where opportunities started coming. I started being able to be more confident and be myself. And I connected with so many different amazing people like Dr. Lulu, Mama Kim, started a podcast. I left a toxic workplace after 9 years. I can't really go into too much because that's still an ongoing process, but I just walked away from my job last year to start my own coaching business and get my LLC and trademark Be You Do You. So my transition has given me a lot of strength. And the people around me and the community and support has given me a lot of strength to move forward. And that's the space that I'm in. Like I'm more focused on my purpose versus explaining why I transition or seeking validation from people. I'm not asking permission anymore to be who I want to be. Like that's where I'm at now at 42. And it took a long time to get there. And I'm still discovering who I am. Like Mama Kim said with her son, like even in my transition, just because you're a trans man doesn't mean you're going to automatically be attracted to a woman or cisgender woman or trans woman. Your sexuality evolves, it changes. We all evolve. It's just society telling us that it can't change. You got to be one way. And that's a conversation that even I was embarrassed to have with her, because when I came out as a lesbian, I was primarily attracted to women. I still am, but I was able to still have those conversations with her because I felt more comfortable and aligned with my gender. I was able to say, well, maybe things are changing, but I was able to have those conversations with her and not feel judged and not feel ashamed. And she, reassured me that it was a safe space for us to have that conversation.
Wow. Sorry, I lost y'all early on, but it was such a beautiful just testimony, just listening to you. Kim, I know you're part of the conversation, but do you have anything to say? Do you have a question? Do you have a concern? Anything you want to ask?
I'm just soaking it all in, and I just and Vanessa, I love your attitude, and obviously we see very clearly when we're posed with a real life scenario, like my partner is coming to me with this information that I need to take seriously. My kid is coming to me with some information that I need to take seriously. We don't have time to continue to justify ourselves to other people. We have lives to live. We do this podcast because the word still needs to happen. The conversation still need to happen. But you know, if you are transgender and you're in a relationship like the Castles here, please live your lives. Let us do some talking for you for a change, because this is nonsense. I mean, you guys need to start living your lives. And like I said, I love the no labels attitude. It really is just communication.
Yeah.
And Vanessa, what did you say what you did? What do you do? Do you
I'm a social worker. So I work on a mobile crisis unit right now in the Central Valley, and we work closely with the local police department and other organizations and just community members. Anytime there's a mental health crisis, whether it's like some kind of episode related to like schizophrenia or depression or bipolar, anything like that, community members can call in and say, hey, my family member or this person I'm, see walking down the street appears to be in mental health crisis. Can you guys come? And so myself and another clinician, we work throughout the week with our team and we respond to calls. And then I also have a few other therapy patients that I do in addition to that in the evenings with my team.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're an
Yeah.
amazing human. Your words were very, I mean, they were just perfect. And I was like, you've got to be in some professional arena. If you're not, you should be. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's spot on. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think I felt her words were like a balm. I just
They
feel
were.
like, and I'm just so happy that the two of you found each other, and I like the way the story actually comes from before transitioning, but also the fact that Sam, more power to you for saying I'm not compromising on that. That is so powerful. Like literally, you force the universe to send you because it's attraction. To send you the people who are the day you decide I'm not compromising anymore. I was talking to a gentleman that I met on the dating site today. And I said, once my kids moved out and I just discovered, oh, I like me.
Yeah.
I really actually like me. Like, oh. And once you learn that, you can't unlearn it. And he was like, wow. And I was like, wow, I wish more people would like themselves just a little bit more. There will be so less drama and hatred and BS around us. But I said, you have to like the person you see in the mirror. Like, I actually give her a high five every day now. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And that's why I can be single and still be happy and feel fulfilled.
Right.
So,
Say
wow.
that all the time.
I think we get caught up a lot in expectation, and that's the problem. It's familial expectation, societal expectation, friendships, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you get caught up in that, and it creates so much pressure. And the minute that you're able to recognize and release that and live for yourself and make that decision that I am not going to live like this anymore, it just opens up a whole new world for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the show is Moms for Trans Kids podcast. We are usually here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as much as we can, within reason, if I'm not traveling or, life is not lifing. One of the things that I want to ask Sam is, how did you come about the Be You, Do You movement? And how did that evolve from wherever you were, whenever you were, with that place that we're not going to call the name, to where you are today? How did that happen? Because you are also helping other trans men or trans mask people, because I saw the thing you made and I was just so happy to see that. So tell us a little bit more about that, because this show we don't usually discuss what people do on this show, by the way, because the show is not about what people do, except when what you do is about what the show is about, which is helping trans men anyway. So.
Well, I feel like Be You, Do You, I accepted the assignment, I feel like, before I even got here. And it was just me accepting that and like walking in my purpose. So like I said, when I think about my transition, that's what helped me show up in purpose, if that makes sense. So Be You, Do You basically came from my own experiences and coming to that realization that I don't need permission. And so I wanted to spread that to everyone else, not just my trans siblings, but to the world. I feel like Be You, Do You is universal because we all hold on to societal expectations. And so Be You, Do You came about in 2018 And then it just carried on. I created a vision board and I started seeing signs. Like I started seeing images that said, be you. I kept getting reminders. And so I turned it into a podcast. And then I went and got my LLC, and then it turned into a trademark. And it's been my motto and mantra. Like people have reached out and said, you know what? This has helped me. This has encouraged me to like be myself. And so it was something that I wanted to give back. Like I want to be the support, or I'm being that person that I didn't have as a support system. So it was my gift. It's my gift to the world. Like be you, do you. You don't need permission to be who you are. And it's just took off. It's taken off. And I just want to give back however I can.
Yeah, we can see your heart definitely, because when you talk about the fact you started seeing, the universe will show you confirmation bias. I mean, it was just that, once you buy that red car, every car in the street is red. I mean, this is it. So this is so good. Well, we are almost close to the last quarter of the show, believe it or not. I wanted to give my co-hostesses a chance to ask any questions that you have. And because that 15 minutes will go very fast, and then we'll go from there. I want to just mention a couple of the quotes because I like to do those. I was met with support. I thought was one of the best things. Hold on, I don't know who I'm lying to over here. I was met with support is one of the best things that I heard you say. I'm not compromising at that. It was a beautiful way to tell yourself and tell the universe that you need to just do what you got to do because this is my decision. But also, I'm already in love with you, is what Vanessa said. And I just thought that is what true love means. Like she said, I'm already in love with you. So it's like, I mean, we might as well just do it. How beautiful a sentence for someone to say to someone who's probably struggling a little bit. Like, I'm not sure how she's going to take it. You're like, listen. Look at Linda, look, I'm already in love with you. And that to me, so Vanessa, thank you so much for saying that to Sam. Thank you for also stressing the fact that his mental health was a big thing for you. And you were like, listen, do this thing for you. And so you can be you, so you can do you, right? I love that. And then, of course, Sam said, pre-transition, my old self already helped me become this new person. So thank you for also giving flowers to your old self. I think a lot of times we hear, now obviously I don't have trans experience, but we hear enough trans people who almost don't really like their old self. And I think it's all individual, right? Maybe based on the experience that they had before that. So tell us a little bit more about that. How in your case, pre-transition, your old self helped you become this new person. Tell us about that, Sam.
Because during the time, I moved out the house when I was 22. I moved to San Francisco with my, at the time, became my first wife, partner, whatever you call it. I had already started researching how to transition in my early 20s. And every doctor appointment, every therapy visit, every roadblock and obstacle and barrier that I encountered, I feel like that was preparing me to eventually transition at the age of 36. Because when I got to transitioning, the same therapist and the doctor that I had previously happened to be the same therapist and provider that I had. So it was like a full circle moment. Like everything aligned. And when I reflect and I look back, like I said, the thing, my mom telling me that my soul was going to go to hell, or, not having my dad in my life, every trial, every tribulation, if I didn't have those experiences, I wouldn't know that there was another option. Like I said, I was able to give myself choices based off of the experiences that I had in the past. So I'm actually grateful that those things happen. It's like in those moments, in those storms, you don't see it or realize it. But I've had moments where I've been able to reflect and look back like, this all makes sense now. Like everything that I've had to go through makes sense now from what I'm doing now in helping other people. I had to go through it so I could help someone else get through it.
I think this also speaks to everything in perfect timing, because The
Yeah.
both of us went to college, you know, in our mid 20s. You know, we weren't like the okay, fresh out of high school, 18 in college, you know,
Right.
and then I had a 10-year gap between bachelor's and master's. And, you know, we just did things different a little later in life than some other people do. But I think that all things in good time really applies for us, because all the experience we gained up to that point is
Mhm.
what helped us once we got there.
Yeah.
We felt a little bit more ready, a little bit more prepared, a little bit more educated to make those types of decisions, not only for his transition, but for our relationship and our future.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Kim, Ellen, any thoughts?
Talk to us a little bit about the social climate that we have right now with the political back and forth nonsense, the relentless asinine commercials that have been just pummeling us. Talk to the parents, if you would, Sam, Vanessa. Sam as a trans man, but Vanessa as a professional. Can you please just talk to the parents? Let's say the parents that have that 12-year-old kid that just came out maybe a year ago or something like that, and they're seeing all these things. Can you give them any comfort?
I'll let you go.
Okay. I think for me, as a mental health professional, I'm always going to be a mental health advocate. And so it's really important to have conversations with your kids. It might be uncomfortable. You may feel like, oh, I don't really know much about this. I don't know what to say. But I think that from a parent's perspective, your support alone can make all the difference in those conversations with your kids. You don't need to know everything about a certain topic to tell your child, listen, no matter what happens with this election, I'm here and I love you, and we'll figure it out. Also, therapy is a wonderful thing. And I know there's a lot of controversy about it. And, different cultural backgrounds can play a difference in how families view therapy and whether it's, positive or negative for them. But I highly encourage anyone, if your child is struggling, please get them enrolled in therapy. If you find a clinician that happens to be specialized in LGBTQ plus issues, that's even better. Not required, but I think it's helpful in showing support for them.
Definitely.
I mean, I say that all the time, that your child does not know the legislator, but your child knows you. And long after Kamala Harris and whoever is running for whatever, the next day life continues. We as a human race, especially the Black race, because I can speak about us, especially Black African Americans, especially, they have overcome worse.
Yeah.
And there's something called fear mongering. There's power in creating fear. Oh my God, let's put fear.
It works though. It works for our
I have been so
parents.
calm about this. Like, I went canvassing today. I had a blast. I was like, listen. It doesn't matter. I had a good time canvassing. Whoever wins is going to win. It's not the first time there's been rigging. It's not going to be the last time. There are some people that have other things that they're worried about besides election. I told myself, look, I'm Nigerian. The truth is, in my heart, I'm Nigerian. I like Kamala to win, but if she doesn't win, I'm still Nigerian. If she wins, I'm still Nigerian. Like, there's other things I'm worried about. Racism did not start with Kamala. It's not going to end with Kamala.
Okay, yeah.
Genocide is not going to end if Trump wins. For those people who are calling genocide, guess what? Trump doesn't care about that. Like, so it's like, whatever your reason for voting whoever you want to vote, just remember that on November 6th, you have to go to work, or you have to pay your bill or something, because life goes on. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for putting it in perspective like that. Ellen, did you have some words to say to our beautiful, beautiful, amazing couple today?
You said on November 6th, you still have to go to work. Well, on December 6th, I'm going to be moved to Mexico if Kamala don't win this election.
I know you said that.
Okay. I am not playing any games. And let me tell you why I'm not playing any games. I am the person where I feel like making sure that our rights that, that fall under the queer community, the LGBTQ community, is constantly given the access to what we need, not only for ourselves, but for our children and for our future generations that will come after us. But what I do really appreciate with, both Vanessa and Sam is that they have spoken to a lot of things in regards to not only just the living in their true authentic self and moving through that journey, but also talking about the mental health component. The mental health component is huge. And I think that that's a lot of times in raising a trans son. And I say raising him because, his transition, he came out at 18. He presented as androgynous gay female prior to. And it is very much like starting over. Yeah. It's like starting over. It is starting over from an aspect of nurturing and loving and making sure that just the things that I did as a parent in raising my child from 0 to 18 are the same things that I'm starting over again and raising my child from 18 now to 22. I call him my 18 plus 3, right? Mm-hmm. We got 3 years under the belt as him being a trans child. So, and it is about instilling greatness and instilling self-awareness and all those things. And he's learning those things all over again. Mm-hmm. He's learning what it means. Am I frozen? I feel like I'm frozen. Oh,
no, we're listening.
Okay. He's learning what it means to be in this new space and loving himself and making sure that he embraces himself.
Yeah.
I think as a parent, people don't understand the levels of how I have to support him mentally. And I have to navigate through, and Sam, you would know this, I have to navigate through so many things. I got to navigate through when he's being 22 and being over the top. I have to navigate when, or try to decipher when he really is having a mental break. I have to navigate through if he is really struggling and his therapist, we need to call the therapist right now.
Right.
And I got to navigate through when he's just being 22, right? So there's so many things and so many aspects that, as a parent of a trans son that I'm going through, that he's going through, that a lot of people don't understand.
No.
So you know what? It is what it is.
So as we just kind of wind down, we have about 6 more minutes. What words of wisdom do you want to give to couples in non-traditional heterosexual marriages? Because that's just the beauty of the two of you today. I love that Vanessa started by saying, I used to identify as a lesbian. Now I don't give a fuck. I said that.
Thank you.
I don't, whatever the label is, I love this person. And then Sam was like, you know what? I'm not changing from this. I'm going to transition. So give advice, if you have any, to couples who find themselves, now you're poly. Now I think I'm pan and whatever, What would you say to the couples that are going to, because the future is gay, the future is queer. So couples also, the future are queer. I'm all about marrying for 10 years at a time. That's my own advice to everyone. If you ask me, marry for 10 years. And
the future is acceptance.
Yeah,
that's what the future is.
Acceptance. Yep.
Like that's what it really is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Sam and Vanessa, the last 5 minutes.
Well, first I want to start off by saying, like, to the parents, because when I think back when I came out to my mom, I didn't need her to have all the answers. So I would just say to the parents, you don't have all the answers because we don't even have all the answers. Mm-hmm. We're just looking for that safe space of exploration and understanding. So to the parents, try to be understanding. Also, I would invite you to explore your beliefs. Ask yourself, why do you believe what you believe? Because it all starts there. Because what I learned is that the belief that my mom had was her belief and her fear, not my own. So I would just invite you to explore your beliefs and just be your kid's biggest cheerleader because they need you. And don't allow the government or outside influencers to affect your household. You control what goes on in your household, and you get to decide what that looks like for you and your child, not society. And then just wisdom overall when it comes to couples and relationships. You deserve to be loved. It is possible. We're an example of that. It's possible to be loved. Doesn't matter. Be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations, because we've had a lot of uncomfortable conversations, but we've grown through it too. And there's been challenges. There's been a lot of uncomfortable conversations, but we were willing to come together because we realized that being together and supporting one another was bigger than any insecurity. So,
in addition to communication, I would say for couples, just be honest, because you can't make yourself unhappy to try to make the other person happy because you think everything's going to be fine. If you're not happy or you are uncomfortable with something or you don't understand something, just talk about it. And if you don't feel like that's happening very well with each other, then seek a neutral party, whether that's a trusted friend or, again, a therapist, couples counseling. I'm always going to be suggesting
we're big advocates on therapy because we went to therapy as a couple before we even got married.
We did.
So we're huge in advocating for a therapist or a third party or someone who can show you the coaches call it blind spots, because there's some stuff that we weren't seeing. So it's okay to get help. It's okay to not know everything, because we don't know everything.
Yeah.
No one does.
And I think be open-minded, because we all have this idea of what we think our relationship is going to be. But as we know, people evolve over time, and your interests may change, or the things you want to do, or how you see your life, or maybe you all of a sudden get this idea that you want to move out of the country one day. And, you need to be having those kinds of conversations, because believe me, we've talked about all of that. Okay, if we move out of country, where are we going?
Y'all can go to Thailand. Just want y'all to know that.
Amsterdam, Italy, Spain. We're going somewhere.
We've talked about it. We have a plan.
Yeah. So
Thailand is definitely. I'll be going there next month to speak. I know that's. Ellen talks about that all the time. So I'm going to be speaking at an LGBTQ+ transgender event in Thailand in the next couple of weeks. So I'm definitely. Let me see. I was trying to put that in the comment section.
An hour went by too fast. We need like a 2-hour session.
Seriously, I know.
Yeah.
And
the show is called Moms for Trans Kids podcast.
Hang on one second, Dr. I think Vanessa had one more thing to say.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
I don't hear me?
You need to. I was just going to say to remember to love each other through those conversations. It's not about being a wrong or right. It's just about having patience for each other and making sure that you remember these conversations are happening out of love and you are a team. You're not against each other.
Yeah. I guess vulnerability is what I'm hearing, which is the old age. But I think what I heard the most is the same kind of relationship that heterosexual, like literally it's between two people. My youngest brother, my baby brother said, a relationship is two grown adults who want to tolerate each other's BS or something. I don't know. He said it. I said, wow.
Pretty much.
That's what it is. He said, that's what it is.
Pretty much.
You're just like, okay, how much BS of this person do I want to tolerate? That's it. I mean, and so, but thank you so much for coming and gracing our thank you for talking about relationship with trans people, relationship with just non-binary people, relationship with just unconventional relationships, because they exist whether we like it or not. They exist and they're coming and they're in the future, and we might as well get ready. And Sam specifically, thank you for talking about one of the things that I talk about all the time, which is parents need to examine their thoughts about the queer community, because that, to me, as you know, as a coach, your thoughts will create your emotions, which create your actions, and that's where the money is. What are you thinking about what your child just told you?
Right.
That's what's going to happen. So Stop thinking that because your child says that they're gay, they're not going to find true love. Stop thinking that because that, like Kim said, is powerful when you just come from fear. It's catchy.
Yeah.
Misery loves company for a reason. So the future is queer, the future is gay. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Mamatrician. The show is called Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids. Join us again next Sunday. Kim, thank you so much for coming. Ellen, just a beautiful soul. And the MVPs,
Good to see
Sam
y'all.
and Van, thank you all so much. Y'all go find Sam on social media at BU do you. That's a whole trademark now.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
And unfortunately, my Instagram is not working today, so I'm just going to have to download this and upload it at something. But thank you all so much for coming. I don't know who our guest is for next week, but it's going to be a fun conversation if I have anything to do about it. So bye, Ellen. Bye, Kimmy.
Bye. Be you, do you.
You do you, y'all. Yes. Go find Be You Do You. Easy to spell. Be You Do You.
Yes.
Peace, love, and so. Bye.
Bye.
Hold on.